Hey everyone, it's Jakov, and I'm here today with a battle replay for Total War the Dawnless Days. In today's battle replay, I'll be leading an army of Erebor against a Easterling army headed by the PC. In this case, this battle's meant to be more of kind of a scenario, try and show you different types of armies you could be expected to face and to build at different points in the game. In particular, this army is a Red Mountains dwarven build, specifically focusing on the Orocarni units available in the Erebor faction. In terms of the origins for this battle, it's kind of a one that I made up in my head, in that the Orocarni Dwarves are known to occasionally work for the Easterlings. These dwarves have been serving the Easterlings, they've come to collect their pay, but instead they're being ambushed by the Easterlings, so a battle breaks out. That's my kind of headcanon for it. If you guys want to send in any battle replays, feel free to send them to me either to my email, which is now linked in my video's descriptions, or send them to me over the Dawnless Days Discord server or the Last Alliance Total War server. I'm more than happy to cover your replays and go through them. With all that said, let's put the video into slow motion and check out the armies. So, starting with the Dwarven army, or should I say the Red Mountains army, the Orocarni Dwarves, we've got 3 units of the Archers of the Red Mountains, who cut quite a figure compared to the other dwarves fielded by that faction. Absolutely love their Eastern inspired like appearance. Then behind them we've got 3 units of the Warriors of the Red Mountain, so heavy shock infantry who look quite nice as far as I'm concerned. Clad completely in, I guess you could say, like a bronze plate, coppered plate, I don't know, it looks amazing. So 3 units of these guys, and then at the back of the army we've got a unit of the Eredmithrin veterans who look absolutely nasty, also with their massive mattocks and warhammers. So yeah, very much a shock-oriented army with a bit of archer support. Then turning around to the other side of the battlefield, we've got the Easterling force, which is made up of a couple units of Variag warriors, so heavy shock infantry fielded by the faction. Then we've got some Variag bowmen, so heavy archers, looking very clean. Then behind them we've got a couple of units of the Loke-Rim macemen, tier 3 professional infantry fielded by the faction, and behind them the Loke-Rim halberdiers, who are quite an intimidating force on the battlefield. Any other units? We've also got some of the clan guards, more tier 3 spearmen, and leading the army we've got the Warlords of Rune, a very tough unit. So we're going to put the battle into you might skip over for the maneuvering, given how far away both armies are, and we'll just jump to the point where both armies are about to reach each other. Okay, so we'll see you guys then. And returning back to the battlefield, we find the dwarves taking up position here on the lower ground, while swarming over the crest, the Easterlings approach. Now, one thing to note is that while by positioning my forces here, I did give up the ability to have the high ground and thus have an advantage with my archers, it also means that because we are so far out, in order for them to engage, they're going to have to push forward. So, yeah. There was some thought given to it, instead of me trying to charge my forces up the hill, which would have left them open to being charged downhill and the enemy having the advantage. Looking at the stats, the Dwarven force is smaller by about a third, but it's not completely outgunned. Like 850 to 1240 is still about a 400 man lead. Battles have been won on easier terms than that. The thing is though, looking at both armies, well, they are very much infantry oriented with archer support. The Easterling army has the advantage of line infantry, which is something that the dwarves lack. So, like, shock infantry are good, but like shock infantry are built specifically to punch holes through lines, not hold enemy units and pin them down. And in that case, the Eastlings have a bit of an advantage. The Eastlings deploy, getting right into archer range, and we have an archery duel. Very nasty, like these guys are taking point blank hits, but direct shots and just returning fire. which funnily enough is actually quite a historical thing. Like, there are accounts of knights being covered in arrows like pin cushions and still being able to continue fighting.
That bastard on the right! He's mine!
There's just something about this. This is quite like situation with archers pounding away at each other. It's like the quiet before the storm, but yet people are still dying. Pulling back over here. The dwarves seem to be taking the worst of this. Now, I'll be honest, in my case, I could afford to not advance here and let both armies drain each other when it came to archers. For these guys, though, they're in a bit of a tough situation in that if they advance straight into my lines, they'll lose the advantage of the hill, but they could also potentially lose out in an archer duel, allowing themselves to be hammered into. So, I have a bit of a tough choice to make. And again, as it is the computer I'm fighting against, like, don't expect it to be over the top in terms of strategy on either side. Start to see Easterlings go down, like this poor bastard, and there he goes. Back at the unit, these guys have lost almost half their strength, and the dwarves are doing well, but they're beginning to run low on ammo.
I've never seen so much blood come out of a man. Get ready to spill their blood!
One thing that would actually be really cool, I just picked up on, is if units that are wearing the red uniform start bleeding, that their clothes start turning black instead of more red. Fun fact, you spill blood on a something that's red, and it will turn black. It's like any form of moisture. It will make it black rather than redder. And there go the Loke-Rim archers. They've been cleared from the field. And now the macemen and the rest of the army begins to advance, just to fall short, which leaves their Variag warriors wide open to attack. However, because they've got these guys here, it becomes kind of an issue of who do I prioritize shooting at? The warriors or the bowmen? And all honesty, like, the archer fire is not having much of an impact. Look at this dude. There's like 3 arrows sticking out of him. See, 2 units almost down. However, the really good thing about these dwarven archers is that they double as fairly good melee infantry. Loke-Rim archers return just to go running to the hills. They're gone. But these 2 units are completely out of ammunition. One more volley and they're done. Yep. Last volley lands and doesn't even kill a single man. Okay, they've got maybe 2 volleys left in it. Nope, none at all. So now it's a 1 archer unit versus 1 archer unit, except this one's no, they're fairly evenly matched when it comes to ammunition.
your shots count.
But here we've got it, all the serried ranks of infantry standing tall, ready to go.
Check your weapons, and then check again. Come on, stand like a man.
See, even now they're not taking casualties, despite however many volleys they've suffered. Now their army moves to advance and stops again. This is one thing that really annoys me. The computer does. It's like, just advance and don't bother messing around.
Monsters are raining on us.
Finally, the first man dead after what, 200 volleys or something. So, both units on the verge of running out of ammunition, and the Variag Bowmen make a bit of a dent in that unit for sure. A few more men go down, but now a battle seems to be about to be joined. And it seems like I'm not really remembering much of this battle. It's because I filmed this quite a while ago. So in they go, a front line, and then behind them they've got the reserves of the spearmen and the halberdiers, which is smart. Archers are going into combat as swordsmen, and the dwarves countercharge. And there we have it. Both sides just hammering the hell out of each other. Literally shock infantry versus shock infantry. The archers swarm in to try and take them on the flank. And, well, they're not the best of warriors. They can more than do damage against these archers. Turning around, more archer units are being deployed, and just the general unit's holding back. Archers are swinging around this way, trying to flank them, and I don't get this, why the Eastern general unit is holding back so far away from the battle. Their second rank of units begins to advance. Smart, but again, keeping those guys back, not so smart. Perhaps the Easterling shouldn't have betrayed the Orocarni Dwarves and paid their agreed sum of money, and all this bloodshed could have been avoided. Also, I want to make it clear, a counter-charge was necessary here, in that had the Dwarves stayed in the defensive and taken the enemy's advancing forces that are counter-charging them, that would have put them in a much weaker stance, given that shock infantry don't do well on the defensive. Some of the units are beginning to pull out, having not broken, but is pulling out. And these guys instead get charged into by the Dwarven General unit. They seem to be doing quite a number on them. This is a real easy way to get yourself demolished, is just be caught out of formation by very elite dwarves. Nice head. Can't say decapitation. More units are pulling back than they deployed. But just looking at the units, you can tell the dwarves have suffered pretty bad casualties just in this one engagement. all along the line, because again, they're not meant to hold, they're meant to punch holes. Now the Variag Warriors come back here to support them. Archers are duking it out. And breaking the army piece by piece, more and more dwarves are swinging around. And just like that, their entire line is collapsing. Still, their general unit is yet to be deployed. More units fall, and they just keep advancing right into it. Units start to be rallied, so Variag Warriors charging right back in again, straight into the general unit. And now the Warlords of Rune are finally getting ready to deploy. I don't get why they pulled so far out. Some of the Dwarven units, the archers, are beginning to go, and the shock infantry's not doing that tough. The Easterling can actually like swing around now and catch us off guard. And final charge is launched. Straight into their lines. Across. The dwarves are surrounded on all sides, more or less. Though admittedly by spearmen and halberdiers. The halberdiers are the threat. But the Warlords of Rune have already taken 50% casualties and their generals down. And with that, the balance of power is massively now in favour of the dwarves. And their army's shattered. And I'm pretty sure you can tell that's a pretty clear victory for the dwarves there. Pyrrhic victory though, which that makes sense given how many casualties were suffered. We're going to end the replay, we're going to check out the stats and see how both armies did. Personally, them holding back their general really doomed them. Like, had these guys come into play earlier, they could have caused so much more damage had they been used in the right area. So, going through the Erebor force, casualties wise, more than half the army died. Whereas looking at the Easterling force, like almost the entirety of their force died. The Ered Mithrin veterans got 208 kills, pretty damn good. Admittedly, they were used the way they're meant to be, smashing into enemy flanks and rears. Warriors of the Red Mountain, 128, 175, 198, all very good. They suffered pretty grievously in terms of casualties, but they held their line. Archers of the Red Mountain, 70 kills, 115, 158, pretty good. Like, the archery duel didn't really incur that many casualties for either side, generally speaking. So these guys were pretty fresh to go into melee combat and did pretty well. Then turning to the Easterling force, the general only got 12 kills, the Warlords of Rune, which is very, very, very poor. 61 kills for the Variag Warriors isn't... it's bad. It's not as bad as these Macemen getting 19 kills, 46 kills, 32 kills. These guys could have done better. Like, instead of blobbing up the force, had the Easterlings like been spread out, tried to find gaps in my positioning, things could have changed very quickly and very nastily. The Clan Guards got 23 kills, which is pretty bad. 169 kills by the Halberdiers is very good. Like, this unit more than performed. The Loke-Rim Archers only got 6 kills, which is really bad. and the Variac Bowman got 140, which is pretty impressive. A mix of those being from the archery duel and from just hacking into my archers. So yeah, guys, there we have it. The battle replay is over. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure to like and subscribe. I know it might not seem like much to you guys for such a small channel. It is massively appreciated, as every little bit of help counts. Rest assured, more videos similar to this will be coming up in the future, so a lot more battle replays for the Dawnless days and for the Last Alliance Total War. And as I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to send any battle replays for me to cover, my email awaits, as do I over Discord. With all that said, guys, this is your host, Jakov, signing out.